Hello and welcome back to another video on the wrestling debate into another edition of Raw out of 10. Crowd's back and we're on the road to SummerSlam. There's lots going on. We've got Goldberg returning tonight. We've got a no holds barred Raw Women's Championship tonight. A lot's happening. And WWE is kind of slowly on the road to SummerSlam, so let's get straight into it. Bobby Lashley kicked off the show with MVP, and they talked about how Goldberg's challenge was an insult to Lashley and how it would end badly for the Hall of Famer. MVP asked the audience if they wanted to remember Goldberg as a champ or a casualty. Goldberg then walked out and said that Lashley was scared out of his mind to accept his challenge. Goldberg then said Lashley would die by the spear, and at SummerSlam Lashley was next before walking out. MVP then pointed to Goldberg's son in the front row, and they were about to threaten him before Goldberg walked down and speared MVP. Kind of just slowly building up to it. This was fine, it's just to really kickstart the rivalry. Before we got Drew McIntyre versus Veer and Shanky. Drew was dominating early on, but Veer managed to take him down before Drew wiped him out with a neck breaker and knocked Shanky off the apron. Drew hit a spine buster and set up for the Claymore finish, but Shanky grabbed him by the ankles. Jinder got in the ring with a steel chair and attacked Drew with it, ending the match in a DQ. Jinder and his squad then all got steel chairs, but Drew went and got his sword, wiped Jinder and Veer out, and Shanky retreated on his own while McIntyre stayed in the ring brandishing his sword. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. To be honest, I'm not too sure what this is all about. I didn't think it was too great, and I just want this feud to be over with. Before we got Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. Jax was dominating and no-sold Ripley's offense before sending her into the ring post with a tackle. Rhea tried for the riptide but failed before she managed to sidestep the tackle and dive on Baszler on the outside. Jackson hit a Samoan drop on the barricades as we headed for a break. Back after the break, Ripley managed to hit a Hurricane Rana on Jax before going out for a missile dropkick. Nia got a leg drop in a near fall and Ripley went for the riptide win. Baszler ran the distraction. Jax was the only one who got distracted at the end and Ripley rolled her up for the win. Jax was not happy with Baszler for interfering, and the two had a little exchange before Baszler walked off. Ripley returned after Shayna left and wiped her out. For Riptide, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. To be honest, I wasn't really too sure on this. It was okay, it kind of just felt pointless and meaningless, and we're just going round in circles. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali were then taking on Mace and T-Bar. Mansoor and Mace kicked off the match, and Mace and T-Bar had the early advantage as they wiped out Mansoor in the ring and Ali on the outside. Ali then tagged in and hit T-Bar with a neck breaker, while Mansoor dropped Mace on the announcement desk. Ali hit a tornado DDT and made the tag, setting out for the finish. Mansoor and Ali then had a small slip-up, letting T-Bar get the pin. Mace and T-Bar then had Ali with a double chokeslam after Ali pushed Mansoor out of the ring, presumably to save him. This was all just very confusing. I just have no idea. 4 out of 10. Charlotte was out next on Raw and was furious that Nikki ASH cashed in her contract. The third time someone cashed in on her. She said Nikki was a martyr and Charlotte would end her career tonight. Nikki attacked Charlotte with a steel chair before she could finish. Charlotte retreated. Charlotte, you clearly don't know the rules of Money in the Bank. Just get used to it. It's the rules, stop moaning. Even Marie and Doudrop were backstage, and Marie was made fun of by Doudrop, trashing on Lily and Alexa Bliss. Before we got Tamina versus Doudrop, both women were matched in the power department, and Doudrop was the first to go down and hit the mat before Tamina hit her with a hip attack and was about to set up for the finish, but a distraction from Marie let Doudrop get the drop on her. Doudrop then sent Tamina into the ring post, taking advantage of the distraction to wipe out the tag champ. Doudrop went for a big crossbody, but Tamina countered it and got the Samoan drop, picking up the win. Alexa and Lily then showed up on the Raw Titantron to call either the loser just after the match. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I can kind of see where this story is going. It's okay. The match was fine as well. Stage on Raw, Riddle told Damian Priest that he had voices inside his head and he was challenging the inner Randy Orton before Miz TV was back with Damian Priest. Miz and Morrison called Priest the cheater for beating up Sheamus last week. Drew said at least Sheamus fought through injury, unlike The Miz. The Miz and Priest got in each other's faces before Morrison said he and The Miz were legends and Priest could not mess with them. Priest called Morrison a sidekick and Miz a loudmouth jackass before Damian said that he was going to challenge Sheamus tonight, but ended up fighting Morrison as he was sent outside and sprayed Miz with multiple dripsticks. And then we did move into the match. Morrison grabbed Peter East by the leg as Damian broke free for an elbow early on. Priest got near full before Morrison knocked in a submission move on the mat. Priest got a few big kicks and went for a top rope move before Morrison missed the Starship Pain, but got a standing moonsault. Priest caught Morrison with a crucifix before getting the chokeslam for the win. Sheamus attacked Priest after the match and Ricochet came to make the save as he and Priest cleared the ring. But that wasn't it, because then we got Ricochet and Damian Priest versus John Morrison and Sheamus. The Miz sprayed the floor with a dripstick after Ricochet was sent outside and Morrison slid on him, sending him straight into the steps. Back in the ring, Priest was tagged in and hit a huge backbreaker and chokeslam, but Sheamus broke the pin. Priest hit the Reckoning and picked up the win over Morrison after Ricochet took out Sheamus on the outside with a dive from the top. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. This was okay. It was a long segment. It kind of got a bit draining towards the end, but the match quality was okay. It kind of just feels like we keep on saying, a bit repetitive, but you know, at least WWE tries to do something here. Just didn't work as per usual. Stage on Raw, Lashley said he accepted Goldberg's challenge for SummerSlam. Great, before we got Omos versus Riddle. Riddle attacked Omos before the match and Omos broke free and chokeslammed him. After the bell rang, Riddle was running around but Omos caught him, sending him into the timekeeper's area. Riddle beat the ref count and was tossed around the ring once more. Riddle came back and hit a series of knees with the ropes before being taken out with a clothesline. Omos got his trademark slam and picked up the quick win. 6 out of 10. Really enjoying this Omos character. He's coming across like a beast. I like Riddle, but I don't mind it being expended for him. Before, Alexa Bliss was backstage in her playground with Lily-inspired people like Jack the Ripper and Zodiac Killer before Doudrop took her out. Eva grabbed the doll, tossed it inside and left before it got up and laughed. Before he got Karrion Kross and Keith Lee once again. Lee locked in a bear hug. A match began and Kross used his elbows to get out the hold. Lee hit some shoulder tackles before hitting a dive over the ropes. Kross then hit a big explosive suplex on Lee and continued to take him out on the outside. Kross continued his onslaught and got some near falls before Lee took him out from the corner with some explosive chops. Lee hit a huge tackle before Kross got out of the cross jacket submission. Lee broke out of it and hit his spirit bomb for the win. 50-50 goddamn booking. Just make your mind up. Why are these two even fighting each other? Both of them should be dispatching opponents with ease at the moment. I just give up. 4 out of 10. That was Reggie versus Akira Tozawa. 24/7 champ Reginald was put back to put his title on the line against Tozawa. Reggie avoided most of Tozawa's early attacks and flipped off the apron onto the outside, running around the ring. Back in the ring, Tozawa summoned the ninja powers, but Reggie still wiped him out and got the pin, retaining the 24/7 title. I'm actually kind of enjoying this Reggie stuff for some reason, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And backstage on Raw, Nikki Ash said that tonight was her first no-holds-barred match, but she was confident that she could beat Charlotte, and we then went into that. Nikki Ash versus Charlotte. Nikki hit a crossbody early on, but Charlotte took her down before taunting her in the crowd. Flair sent Nikki outside of the ring. Charlotte brought a table out and set it up on the apron before she was sent into the ring post by Nikki. Flair hit a big brute for a near fall before breaking into the pin herself, only to continue the punishment. Charlotte got the chairs, but Nikki got the drop kick. Charlotte dropped Nikki over the barricades before catching Nikki with a powerbomb. Flair dragged Nikki into the ring. Nikki dodged a spear from Charlotte and went through the table. Nikki then hit a draping DDT and picked up the win. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It was a decent enough match, but yeah, it's just the same thing every single time. And every single time, the crowd reaction just doesn't get better. Overall, Raw this week gets a 4 out of 10. Yeah, we're kind of heading to the Raw that we knew and loved before the crowds returned. It just really wasn't great. It's becoming a really, really bad wrestling show again. We had a few weeks where it slightly improved, but yeah, I just absolutely wasn't a fan of this show at all. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, drop your thoughts, comments down, and follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to our channel and subscribe right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.